What's up, everybody? This is Musiq Matisse. I'm joined, as I am each and every podcast, by my partner in crime on First Fam Radio.
First Fam Chill. What's up, everybody?
And this is the SMG Solar Music Group First Fam Radio podcast in studio. This week, we are very honored. Let me repeat that again. Very honored, to have with us an individual who's a singer, songwriter, producer in his own right, but he was also a member of a legendary group, very much so an unsung group in 90s R&B as far as I'm concerned. Let's welcome to the show from the group Intro, the one, the only, Mr. Buddy Wike.
What an introduction. What's up, Musiq?
What's up, man? How you doing,
up,
brother?
Chill? Yo, I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be here. Y'all brothers doing it. Y'all providing a platform for the artists here. Yo, thank you.
No, man, it's been my pleasure. Since we started, even delving into the podcast market, maybe a year or two ago, if not a little more. You're definitely on my wish list in regards to Intro. I think that as a group of artists, individually and collectively, you all are definitely unsung. You've been overlooked, in my opinion, and we're gonna get into that and a few more things during this podcast. But from the very beginning, if you will, take us through how Intro was created, how the group was formed, the wins, the wheres, and the whys, as far as how this whole thing with Intro as a group started.
We started in the Army. When I was in the Army, I was in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I met Kenny Green. One of my friends told me, "Hey, I know this guy named Kenny that can sing real good." I told him that you know how to play the piano. I want you guys to get together and see if y'all come up with something. Mm-hmm. So I met Kenny there. We started working on songs in the recreation center on the weekends. I was coming up to New York on leave. I asked him if he wanted to come up. We could get into the studio because my roommate brother had played the drums for Al B. Shore. And he had a studio. And he came down to New York with me. We recorded a couple songs. It caught some ears. And that's how we ended up getting our very first record deal, which was with a label called Classified. But it was like a house music deal. But we really wanted to do rap and R&B. So our heart wasn't content. So fast forward a little later, after the war, because I got sent to the Gulf War. Right. And when I came back, I linked back up with Kenny. We met up with Eddie F. We met Jeff, and we met up with Eddie F. Through Heavy D. We met Heavy D at a party, and Heavy D introduced us to Eddie F. And Eddie F. Signed us to Untouchables Records and put us to work with all of the artists that they were working with on Untouchables Records, like Shinehead, Christopher Williams, Mary J. Blige, first album. We did 3 songs on there: Love, No Limit, My Love, and Reminisce. Father MC, Close to You. Yeah, that was the start.
Okay, so just to be clear for the listeners out there, were you all ever signed directly to Uptown Records, or you just had a lot of affiliations and connections and networking within people who were signed to that label?
We were never signed to Uptown Records. We were always signed to Untouchables Records and Atlantic Records. For the first album, we were signed to Untouchables Records, distributed by Atlantic Records. On the second album, we were signed directly to Atlantic Records due to the success of the first album. Okay.
Now, the first album, which most considered from the New Jack Swing era, the that Uptown era, a lot of people consider everything that you all did to be classic. I'm definitely one of those people. So the first album comes out. How long did it actually take to formulate and create that very first album?
That first album we recorded within like a 6-month period. In the process of recording that album, we were recording songs for different people. For instance, Let Me Be the One was a song we recorded for Mary J. Blige for the What's the 411 album, but she only had 3 slots available on her album. So that's how Let Me Be the One ended up on our album. So we were just doing songs and just giving them out to people. Initially, we came into the game as songwriters and producers. And by coming in that way, we caught the attention of Atlantic Records to sign us as artists. There's like, well, if they writing all these songs for people and it seems to be popping, why don't they do their own album? So that's how Intro ended up doing an album. or we would have just been around New York, just in the studios, just writing for people and producing and stuff.
Right.
You know. But either way, it was dope. Either way, it was dope. I had a great time working with the guys and traveling and, you know, seeing the world with them. Shout out Jeff Sanders. Shout out to Kenny Green. Rest in peace. You know, it was a really good time of my life right there.
Right.
Yep.
And you can kind of tell that you all had a great vibe, and that you were enjoying what you were doing. If you listen to the music, if you look at the videos, a lot of times groups, you know, you could tell a stage. I never picked that up with you all. I always felt that even though you all might have met, you know, generically, that what you all created, it created almost like a brotherhood.
Yeah, I hear you. Because, you know, a lot of times labels put groups together. And that's the one thing about Intro. We came to the label together already. Like, nobody put us together, you know.
Okay.
So we were Intro before we came to the label. And I think that's what, you know, kind of kept us strong. We was the type of dudes to be on the phone till late at night, from early in the morning to late at night. Yo, what we doing today? And we're going to meet at Jeff's mother's backyard, and we're going to rehearse. And we just go over there 11. We didn't have nothing else to do. I had just got out the Army. Kenny was already out the Army. Jeff was out, you know, doing his thing. And we had, everything just lined up where we had the time to focus on developing the sound of Intro. We listened to a lot of hip hop. We listened to a lot of gospel, mainly commission. And that's what developed our sound.
Oh, wow. So it's definitely safe to say that the church influenced your development vocally as far as songwriters, performers, and producers.
Oh, definitely. As a producer, I was a paid musician, like 12 years old. My church started paying me to play the piano for the choir when I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
It was good and bad, because once I started getting paid from the church, my parents wasn't giving me money for my sneakers and stuff. It's like, you on your own.
Wow.
But it worked out cool, man. Yo, Marv, we've done some stuff together, man. I gotta put it out there. I really appreciate you, because in the middle of the transitions with Intro, me and you have done some things together, as far as Buddy Wike, you know, Kiss Your Girl Goodbye, the Life of the Entertainer video. You know, you've always been there supporting Intro 100%, and I appreciate you for that.
No, man, I appreciate you guys. I just, my issue, I don't even think it's really an issue, but I just think that you guys are so underrated, particularly as songwriters and producers. And it's not to throw shade on the industry or throw shade on anybody. I just look at you guys and I just see this abundance of talent. And first and foremost, before I even get into that even further, thank you and thank Kenny for your service as far as the military. I'm a vet myself, so from one to another, we appreciate that, man. And you know, it's something that I always respect, no matter what anyone else says about, you know, the military and serving and this, that, and other. Thank you both, you know, from the bottom of my heart. But as far as you and I go, again, I just looked at it and I'm like, wow, it's amazing. Like, people don't even know the stuff. And it's funny you bring that up, because I was just actually sitting here thinking about, you know, the stuff that I've seen you perform and we've done videos for that's been, for the most part, unreleased. I Just Can't Be Faithful, and you know the song I'm talking about. That's still one of my favorite songs of all time.
Thank you.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I got that song, and when you played it,
I'm just waiting for the vehicle for that. That's Benetton the Menace, Buddy Wike featuring Benetton the Menace, and just waiting for a vehicle. I just don't want to put the songs out there and they just don't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? If I put a record out, I want it to be available for people to listen to and stuff. It's not about it being successful or unsuccessful. I just want to make sure that's available for everybody. And that's one of the good things that's happening right now with the release of the new documentary that we're shooting right now. People are going to get a chance to see behind the scenes stuff, you know.
Get into that a little more before we even go back to what was going on in the past. Let everyone know about, you know, as much as you can and as in depth as you can go about this documentary. You know what I mean? Because it's something, again, that I think is long overdue.
Oh yes, so we kind of waited.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
Unmute. There I go.
Yeah, you go.
I apologize about that. And guess what? That was as simple as receiving a phone call. Like, I don't know how to disable my phone calls right now. But we could jump back in, right? You can
we can. We edit in any mistakes we have. We edit it out. You were in the middle of talking about the documentary, though.
Okay. So yeah, with the documentary, we waited for unsung to call us, because I feel like we were the most unsung group of all times.
Yeah,
being that we had produced the 90s sound, did the records for Mary and Kenny passing away. Like what's more unsung than Intro? But they never called.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do was to link with Indaflix Films and shoot our own documentary.
Okay.
So we filmed,
Jason.
We filmed a full-length documentary, which is eligible for the film festivals. It's a full feature film, and we're getting some good reviews behind it. We've been shooting for the last year. We got all our good friends in there, from Mr. Cheeks, Donnell Jones, Big Daddy Kane, ourselves, some behind the scene footage, a lot of information that people don't really know about Intro, but it would be too much to fit into an unsung. So we've done it ourselves, and besides that, we got the record company behind us. We got a new album coming out on Warner Music Group.
Really?
And it's coming. They releasing a brand new album on us with songs from the first album, songs from the second album. And they did a vault dive in August where they found songs that we never released, that we gave to them that they never released, and they releasing that also. So jumping into 2021, I'm excited about Intro.
Yes.
I'm excited about Intro.
Yes. Yep. I'm happy for you, man, and congratulations, because that's overdue. It's well deserved, and you guys definitely deserve that. Now,
shout out to the director Jason Evans for Indaflix Films. 3041. It's been a long year. It's been a lot of work. He's been flying all over the country. He's been out into the country interviewing Kenny's family out in Alabama. I'm excited about it, man.
So he did a deep dive for this. So this isn't going to be
a deep dive. It's not just me and Jeff sitting around talking. He went and spoke to family members about, how people were growing up and stuff like that. And I'm excited, man.
I'm excited for you guys. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, though.
Okay.
Do you have a release date on this, or potential release date?
You know what we're waiting for? The release of the album. We want to get an album release for the date. So now I'm thinking, the crazy thing is the music people are saying, don't release anything in the fourth quarter. You want to always come out in the first quarter. You never want to release in the fourth quarter. But in the film side, they're saying you want to get it out before the year is over for the stamp. Right. So Jason wants to get the documentary out in 2020, but the soundtrack may not hit until the top of 2021. So I'm trying to pull them together as close as possible. But I'm talent. I'm talking like I got juice, but it's really out of my hands. I can hear you. Yep.
That's the business side, the corporate side. But
yeah, man,
we definitely look forward to that, man. So here's the thing.
Thank you. Yeah.
As I told you before we started recording this episode, you always will have an open invitation for conversation, promotion, whatever I can do on my end through this podcast and even more. That door is always there. I know you. I know Jason. Whenever you guys want to come back in regards to this documentary and the new album, that extends to, that side of the house with him as well. I would love to talk to both of you at the same time because of our past history. You know what I mean? So,
well, I always have, and I always will consider you a part of the Intro team.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It is whenever you call, we there.
Absolutely.
It's that mutual. Yep.
Right. And the same here, man. So we've got a deep dive with this documentary. I'm chomping at the bit right now to see it. I really want to see it like now, but I'll wait. I'll be patient like everybody else. With the new album, you said they did a deep dive as far as in the vault.
They did a deep dive on August 3rd. On Friday, August 3rd, they had a meeting in Los Angeles where it's called a vault dive. They did a vault dive where they pulled songs from us that we never released. But until today, I still don't know what it is. I'm still awaiting the email. I'm patiently waiting the email from the label so they can tell me, which songs they're going to add to the album. As an artist, people think we have more control than what we have. We create the music and we turn it over to the corporate. And then it's pretty much up to them in the meetings with 20, 25 people sitting around a table eating lunch that you're paying for.
Yeah. Out of your budget.
Yep.
But that's a good thing, though. I mean, to have a company like Warner Brothers, particularly in the space and time that y'all are in, That's a beautiful thing.
Shout out to Warner Music Group, man. Let me tell you, like Eddie F. Shout out to Eddie F. Man. He signed us when he signed us. It wasn't like signing with your friend up the block. He linked us up with retirement. We have retirement with American Federation for TV and Radio Artists.
Wow.
You know, he signed us up with ASCAP, American Society for Composers and Publishers. I get a check every 4 months from them. Like that dude was really on his business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I a lot of times we on tour and we talk to artists and they be beefing about their labels and stuff like that. Honestly, we can't get into it because they honestly did the right thing. Now I'm not rich. I can't go buy a plane or none of that stuff. But, you know, I can't find anything that they did me wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right, financially.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at what we're surrounded by now, current day events. We're going through this whole thing the past week with Kanye. And his, you know, him doing what he did with his Grammy Award. And
I would have loved to have his contract. I would have loved to have that contract. When I read it, I was like, I want that.
Yeah, yeah.
When
but
I
like
saw
you
his
said,
contract, I was like, oh my God. Compared to the intro contract, they look like it looked great to me.
Still saying that you're still comfortable. And if you wanted the contract that he's complaining about, imagine the space that would have put you in. You know, so and it's like I tell my artists the same thing, and I hope when they see this and hearing you say what you said about Eddie F, they get a better understanding of why I'm doing with them the things that I'm doing. Because when you are older and you stop touring or you're touring less, you still have, you know, residuals and incidentals and all these other forms of streams of revenue that are coming at you per se.
It's Sunday night. I'm in New York. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm in New York. I'm going to go home in a little bit because I'm going to get back in the studio because I'm working on a song. I'm sitting on my boat, dude. I'm sitting on my boat.
Give us a shot of that all the way around if you can, sir. You know, and this is what years in the music business literally buys you that you own, not lease, not have a monthly payment for.
That's my boat.
This is what you own. You relaxing and you chilling on your boat and still getting residuals from music that you perform, wrote, and produced thanks to Eddie F's business acumen 25, 30 years ago. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank you, brother.
That's a beautiful thing. You know.
Thank you.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think as a collective, okay, and we've touched on it already, but how do you feel about being quote unquote unsung or the lack of notoriety from the production and the writing standpoint that has occurred in your career? What's your actual take and reason on that?
The only time it really comes to my psyche is when I hear artists doing an interview and they don't give Kenny Green his credit.
Say that one more time, please.
The only time it enters my psyche is when I hear artists that have profited from Kenny Green, that do interviews, that don't give him his credit. Like they act like they did it themselves. Right. But we know Kenny Green changed the whole '90s game.
Yeah, he did.
He took an axe to the head of New Jack. I'm sorry to say it. I love New Jack Swing, but Kenny Green took an axe to the head of New Jack Swing, man, and he just created a whole new genre of R&B and hip hop, and it happened to us too. Trap music took an axe to the head of '90s R&B. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Yeah. You know, New Jack Swing took an axe to the head of disco music. It's ongoing and it's ongoing and it's ongoing. But honestly, it's the '90s artist time right now, and I tell you why. Because we started getting called to come out and do shows. We found ourselves over in London, selling out again with H-Town and Cut Close and Horace Brown and Mr. Cheeks. And I'm like, well, why now? Why are they calling us now? And then it dawned on me, '90s R&B are called to do shows, not just because it's not because people don't want to see artists from the '80s and the '70s no more. It's just they're not alive. Right. They're not alive anymore. The artists that you want to see live music are the '90s music. Like, we're the artists that are live and can bring the shows, bring the shows up.
Right. It's amazing because with the R&B from the 2000s, you had, like you said, coming up, you had the Donnell Jones, you had the Mario, you had, so many groups. But I'm going to tell you one group in particular that I'm a big fan of. And I'm a big fan of this particular group because when I first heard them, they reminded me so much of a 2000s version of Intro. Okay. And that's Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge is awesome. Yeah,
I
shout out to the
cannot.
brothers Jagged Edge.
It's big shout out to them. But
Yep.
in a way, I when I pray, I'm like, God, sometimes musically, maybe we were cheated a little bit. And here's why I say that. Can you imagine those twins and that group in the studio with you all, and then both of y'all hitting the road for a tour? That would be
Been a good time.
bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Would have been a great time. So we hit studio with so many good times. Yo, we used to hit. We was in the studio with Jodeci, dude. We did records with Jodeci. Where it was times when we would go out to New Jersey, out to Teaneck, New Jersey, where to Jodeci's crib, and they had a piano in there. Devontae would be playing the piano, and me, Kenny, Jeff, Casey, and JoJo, and Dalvin would be standing around the piano singing songs. Like really like banging like crazy. Like I remember this one, it was called Don't Wanna Fall in Love with the Stranger. Don't Wanna Fall. Yeah, we had a crazy record with Jodeci called Don't Wanna Fall in Love with a Stranger. But we never recorded it because it was organic. It was us at the piano at the house. We'd go out in the yard and play basketball with them. They had a scooter at the time. JoJo ride the scooter to the store to get food. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Good times, man. Good times.
Great times, man.
I'm telling you. Well, I'm glad to see you all coming back. Where are you individually right now as a producer? I know you do a lot of writing, as we talked about earlier. I know a lot of the stuff I've heard, I would be, how should I put this? I would be excited. I'd be very happy when you get to the point where you find a place and a format for it to release a lot of your solo work. But for people who don't know that you write and produce, how would you describe your process and what you're currently working on to people who may not be familiar with your work?
Right now, I'm the oddball. Like I did, I'm doing an inspirational book with a lady named Deborah from Las Vegas. I'm providing like music, and she's doing her like self-help type of content behind it. I call that the oddball. But then I had to fall back on my gospel group. I did an album for a very good artist named Phyllis Stevens. She did a gospel album, and she has a son in the music industry. I don't know if y'all heard of him or not. His name is John Legend.
Oh, that guy.
So, yeah,
I think maybe I might have heard of, just something that he's done.
So yeah, I fell back on my gospel roots and produced her gospel album.
Okay.
Which is out currently. Yep.
Okay.
So it's just oddball. Every other song that you've heard, like I Just Can't Be Faithful, and the other songs, I'm just extremely selfish with releasing those songs. Like my catalog is crazy, but I'm extremely selfish until I find a successful vehicle for them. Because I just don't want to have a bunch of songs out there that just I can listen to in my car. If I'm going to do a commercial release, I kind of wanted to have some legs to stand on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So let's do basically almost a quick roll call of the hit singles, particularly from the first album that Intro had. We know we have Let Me Be the One.
Let Me Be the One.
Go ahead.
Love Thing was our first single. Then Let Me Be the One. Come Inside, which is my favorite song and my most successful song commercially. It was the song that brought my mother a house because I never sold my publishing on the record. So I own the same shares as the record label does on that song Come Inside. Wow. Not to brag, but something told me not to get a publishing deal on that record because I liked it, because I like to Come Inside. And then we had Ribbon in the Sky. Stevie Wonder gave us the opportunity to go out to Los Angeles and hang out with him for the day and shoot a video with him. And it happened to be Kenny's birthday that day, so he called over Terrence Trent D'Arby and Johnny Gill. They came over to hang out with us. So, okay, it's Ribbon in the Sky. Then on to the second album, Funny How Time Flies, which was a really good song until 50 Cent recorded it over and made it a great song. And we ended up going out doing some shows with him, and him introducing us to his fan base, increased our numbers. And then Feels Like the First Time was the last release from Intro. And at that time, the record label started pulling back because it was time for the Braxtons. Like our A&R at that time Brian Reed, L.A. Reed's brother.
Mm-hmm.
He worked at Atlantic, and the Braxtons was his group.
Mm-hmm.
So he took the attention off an Intro and he put it on to the Braxtons, the
wow.
3-girl group. So that's pretty much why Intro slowed down and you stopped hearing about Intro, which I think was a definitely mistake on Atlantic Records.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to point the finger at any one person, but
Right.
you know, we still have fight in us.
Mm-hmm.
After that, Kenny explored doing a gospel album and also doing some solo projects.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Jeff just started continuing, just doing our stuff on our own. Jeff opened a restaurant. I built a recording studio.
Mm-hmm.
2 years later, Fubu, the clothing line, offered us a contract to record songs for their soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So that brought me, Kenny, and Jeff back together. We recorded 4 songs for their album. And then once
Mm-hmm.
those 4 songs were done, then we
Mm-hmm.
started working on the 3rd album for
Mm-hmm.
Intro. And in the process of working on the 3rd album for Intro, Kenny took sick,
Mm-hmm.
and he never recovered.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I want to touch on that a little bit, but if you don't want to discuss anything about it,
I'm fine, man. I'm fine.
You can let me know
I'm
that now.
fine. Dude,
now,
it's whatever. I'm fine. I'm fine with whatever, man.
Understood. I remember I had one quick conversation in meeting Kenny. And he always came across to me as a genuine guy, as an honest guy. You could tell that he was talented as hell. If you stayed around him and had a quick conversation about anything, particularly with music and production, you would know that. First time I actually saw Kenny, I was walking down 7th Avenue. You remember Rock and Soul?
Yes.
Yeah, I was coming out of Rock and Soul. I don't know if he was going in there, but we literally walked past each other. Then it was one year that you all did, and I don't know if you were scheduled to do it, but you all popped up at a Christmas party that was done by Double Exposure, the promo company. And that's when I actually got a chance to hear you guys live for the first time. And I was like, okay, this is nothing but pure talent. And we had a brief conversation. It was like a toy drive for underprivileged kids. And we talked briefly just about the music business, and it was a general conversation, but he came across as like a genuinely nice guy. You know what I mean?
He was a nice guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
dude, just not to cut you off, but
no,
come back to what you're saying right now. Just recently, I had somebody that came up to me and was like, yo, what's up, buddy? I didn't know who he was. He was like, yo, man, I want to tell you. One day I was in Manhattan, and I was walking out of the club, and I was messed up. And I met Kenny, and Kenny gave me $400 for no reason. He just gave me $400, and I was like, "Oh, I believe you." Yep.
But recently, knows how that act of kindness may have played out in that guy's life within, you know what I mean? Within a couple of days, a couple of hours later, So you're riding high, you're successful. You got platinum, gold selling records and singles. You got multi-platinum collaborations as writers and producers. How did he come to you and let you know that he had taken ill and what the situation was? Was it something that he was looking at that he thought he could recover from? Or how did all of that go down, if you don't mind just talking about it briefly?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll tell you. Like when we went, actually on our very first session back in the studio when we started working with the project for Fubu, I had a big book of Kenny Green songs written, and I didn't know if he knew I had them or not. It's like a big notebook of songs, at least 100 songs. And I brought him to the session that night. I was like, dude, I don't know if you know I had this or not, but here you go. He's like, yo, I didn't know what happened to that. I didn't know where it was at. And I gave it to him. And we sat down and he broke the ice. He was like, yeah, I just want you guys to know that, I'm sick. I had, some relationships with, same sex, whatever. I've been diagnosed with this, and I don't know how long I have to live, but the time that we spend together, I want to be special.
Right.
And from there on, from that day to his passing, we was linked on. I actually moved him in with me. He moved in with me.
Right.
We went to sign him into the Veterans Hospital. But he was too sick at that time to go into the Veterans Hospital, so he went into hospice, and it was really quick. It was quicker than I expected. You know what I'm saying? I thought we would have time, but yeah, it was quick, man.
Right. Right. Well, I'm glad that he got to spend that time with you all because I know he considered you all family, you know, and brothers in the process. So we've got the new album, we've got the new documentary, we've got a lot of good things, major deal, major label involved in the deal. Before the resurgence happened, from my understanding and what I was around and able to see, even, you know, being next to you and from a distance, you all had a multiple assortment of members in the group. Where do you stand now as far as the number of members in intro?
Right now, it's just me and Jeff, man. We've tried so many times to add another person to the group. At one point, it came to where we added 2 people to the group, took down the politics, because every time we would add somebody to the group, it seemed like they would try to just become the lead singer of the group as opposed to a member of intro.
Right.
And it's just like they didn't know how to get in where they fit in. I would say get in where you fit in. It always turned into like they was trying to be the boss. It was time that I would walk away from shows where I was making less money from them just to keep the peace.
Wow.
So you know, anybody would tell you that I'm not an easy person to deal with. So like besides this, like Quinn in Atlanta, it's a dude named Quinn in Atlanta. He's a part of the jukebox band. He's a leader of the jukebox band. As apart from him, like he was the dope fit for intro, but he already had his thing going on, so he stayed there.
Right.
As far as all of the other members that we put in the group, they always wanted to fight me. It always ended up where they wanted to fight me, and I didn't want to hurt them. So I just
You mean physically fight you?
They want to physically fight me, dude. Like it always came down to, because I always felt like we're not gonna, you know, intro is gonna be intro. I'm not gonna let y'all change intro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stay on the same level of where Kenny would have had it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's crazy, because you would think that, you know, that's a golden opportunity if you're a male vocalist.
I'm telling you, like every other member besides Quinn, it ended with them not them wanting to fight Jeff, but them wanting to fight me, like coming down to a fight. And I'm not backing down. I'm a grown man.
Nah.
It's gonna be respectful, and it's a business, because it's like you trying to do a hostile takeover through violence. I ain't having that. I'm in New York. I'm deep in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and y'all have worked too hard.
I got 10 toes down. I'm down. You know. I don't blame you. So you ain't punking
y'all
me
work
out.
Too hard. You sacrifice too much.
Yeah, exactly. I done put too much into this, and you know, if you could get in, you want to be a part of it, you can make it happen. But it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. So finally, me and Jeff was like, "Yo, man, you know what? Let's just do what we do. Let's give it our best shot." And once we did that, then people started calling us for shows.
Wow.
They started calling us for shows. And when you see intro on stage, it's like you can't.
I'm still here if you can hear me, buddy. Still here. Testing 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you. Sound good.
Yeah, he cut out again. He cut out one time before.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to stop anything.
Right. I see we still recording. So, I mean, we're going to get, but so far we're getting some good information. I don't know if you've been listening, but.
No, bro, I'm here. I'm your engineer.
You know what I mean? Like, we definitely can tag this as far as putting it on YouTube. Like, intros, Buddy Wike talks about Jagged Edge, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, and just leave it like that.
He dropped out.
Let's see if we can get him back.
Yeah, he probably gonna come back. He got the link, so.
Yeah. He said Eddie F hooked him up, man. He's still getting royalty checks.
Yeah.
You know, see, he chilling on his boat.
Yeah.
He's like, it ain't leased, it's mine. I was like, yeah, listen.
But was Ali Hyman a part of that group?
He might have been one of the replacements for Kenny.
Yeah, I think he was. I thought he was talking about him when he said another guy. But Ali Hyman, I think, is a Philadelphian.
Yeah, because they had, I know for a fact, they had like 4, maybe 5, man, maybe 5 dudes to fill in for Kenny over the years. And that's what he was just saying. The only one work was the guy he was talking about from Atlanta. That's what we was in the middle talking about. He said everybody else wanted to fight him, you know, because Buddy handles his business, man. Like, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because you look at all these shows that have come on and everything, they do not honor intro. They don't honor Kenny as a songwriter producer. This man, I mean, like you said, Mary J. Blige, Father MC.
About that. I was like, damn, that is true.
Yeah, you know, it's like and the crazy thing is they can't say that it's a lifestyle thing because the lifestyle is accepted, you know, now more than it ever has been. So why isn't this man still honored as the producer, the writer, and the songwriter that he is? You know, you're looking at Mary, you're looking at Father MC, you're looking at Al B. Sure, you're looking at them. I mean, if you pull Kenny's credits up as a songwriter, you will be shocked at the people he wrote songs for. You'll know the songs, but then you'd be like, I never knew he wrote that. They produced that. Oh wow. It's like they don't shine no light on it.
Industry motherfuckers.
You know, it's crazy. That's why I was like, yo, I want to do the shit that nobody else is doing. You know.
Well, this is a great show, if I might add.
We've got so much more. Excuse me, bro. When that first week of November hit, and we're gonna have our shows on every episode we have on. I told dude this morning I wanted to air 5 days a week. So now we gonna be on television, bro, on a streaming service.
Yeah. Because
you know all these TVs now, they come with ROKU. So you're not paying a separate cable bill. All these new LCD TVs and high def TVs, they come with that already. When you buy the TV, that's already in the package. It's installed in the TV.
Package, so
yeah.
Once you link on, you automatically get in this show.
Yep, and you're gonna be seeing
and it's
us.
Paid for already because you're paying for a stream.
Yep.
You know, they got other things with like Roku you can add to it.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be like I said, it'll be like
I seen it, bro. I got 2 Roku TVs, man. As soon as you go on there, it shows like us on there already. Like you can see them on the thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's gonna be like watching a version of MTV.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're back. Yes, sir. You were saying. Get him to admit.
Sorry about that.
Nah, that's all right. Like I said, the editing there's no problem.
The power on the boat is it's like different. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. So, but you were in the middle. What were we talking about? You were in the middle of saying something about.
I think I was talking about. Damn it, we were talking about like. I think towards the end, like once we like the fighting with the group and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we could leave all of that stuff alone. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's just you and Jeff right now, and that's the way you're looking to continue. Okay.
It's just me and Jeff right now. We try. Oh my God, the bluefish are jumping in here like crazy, Jeff.
Let us see it.
The bluefish are coming to the marina right now. Like they jumping out the water right now like crazy.
Where are you at in New York?
I'm in Queens, New York, in a place called Inwood Marina.
Okay, got you. Got you. Shouts out to everybody at Rockaway Inlet. Shouts out to Far Rockaway. Everybody.
There you go. You know exactly where you're at. You know
yes,
exactly.
That's my old stomping grounds, brother. That's my old stomping grounds. Jamaica Bay. Everybody.
We're in Jamaica Bay. We just came back in from Jamaica Bay.
My man. I ain't mad at you. I gotta get up there, man.
Fish is jumping out here like crazy. We're gonna have to throw some lines in the water or something. Just for the fun of it. We let them go though.
See, this is what I'm saying though, buddy. You're living life, and you're living life off of great music. You know what I mean? That's another reason why I wanted to put this out there, just so these young kids can see the same thing. Like you can make great music, you can have a great career, and you can live through it without taking penitentiary chances and risking your life, and actually live life. You know, that's the beautiful thing. You know. He still can't hear me.
Just want to say, I just want to thank God that I never spent one day in a penitentiary.
Yeah, man, that's a blessing.
Yeah,
that's a blessing. You know, and that was our intentions, even with this podcast, is to show a different side of the industry.
Jumping right now, like if you see the water, you see the popping out the water.
Wow.
We won't take them home. It's porgy season right now.
Yeah.
It's like crazy with porgies, probably for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But it's just coming out here just chilling and listening to records. Like I did a record earlier today called Better. And I posted it on my IG,
Right.
Buddy Wike Music. It's called Better. And with her, it's always better. I guess because it's wetter. I keep her warm like a sweater. With her, it's always better. That's the record. You know, just some old nasty stuff. It seems like for some reason the nasty records sell, man.
Oh,
I
hell
want to
yeah.
do political records and all that stuff. No, you know.
Yeah. So with the relaunch, you guys have a tour in the works as well for next year?
The label has a tour in works. They're printing vinyl and CDs for the tour support. I believe the tour is going to be Intro, Anita Baker, and Adina Howard, because they're also releasing albums on them as well.
Now that's an eclectic lineup that we definitely have been missing. So salute to all three of those acts for sure. But
that's what I've been told. If it happens, it happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what I'm hearing from them. So that's the lineup right now for 2021.
No, we appreciate that, man. We definitely appreciate that info. But like I said, I'm not gonna hold you much longer. We're getting ready to wrap. Do you think at this point of the industry, with all the changes that we've witnessed over the years, the technology coming in, and the way that so many other people saluted, do you think there will come a day when Intro as a group and Kenny Green and yourself as producers and writers will get the respect from your peers in regards to honoree awards and different shows that should feature you all? Do you think that day is coming, or does that day really matter to you because you survived so well without those accolades?
I think the documentary in itself is going to let people know that a lot of the sounds that they're hearing, and was actually came from us. Like a lot of people took credit for things that we did. And I think the documentary is going to bring that to light. I'm not going to name no names or nothing like that, but we had a lot to do with 90s music. That's all I'm going to say. Yep.
Okay. So with the gold selling albums, platinum singles, etc., what awards has the group received, if any, during their tenure, particularly when they were in their prime?
ASCAP Songwriter of the Year, Gold Album, Intro, Platinum Album, Jason Lyrics, You Will Know, Platinum Plus Album, Mary J. Blige, What's the 411, which I'm about to do a post because I got it's like 2021 and that's on the way to me. How crazy is that?
What's on the way to you?
I'm gonna do an unboxing within the next 10 days on a 411 multi-platinum album coming to my studio.
The plaque you're just getting is what you're saying?
I'm just getting the plaque. I'm about to get. I don't want to talk about it because I don't got it yet.
Right.
I'm in the next. I know it's on the way.
Wow.
I know for a fact it's on the way. So.
Well, do me a favor.
Yes.
When you get that plaque,
it's on the way.
When you get it in your hands and you unbox it, make sure we one of the first drops that you do visually, so we can put that.
Drop because you're the first person that I told.
Got you, my brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll be playing myself if it don't show up. It's showing up. It's on the way. I know.
Yo, absolutely, absolutely. But that's just crazy. But I'm just glad that you and Jeff are continuing the tradition of great music. I'm glad things are working out. I feel that that's just Kenny smiling down on you all, and knowing that you all are finishing what the three of you started.
Thank you.
So unless you have something else you want to part with as far as giving us how the fans can reach you and what to look out for as we've discussed in 2021, man, we definitely SMG Solar Music Group, as far as our label, you got additional family here, you got additional producers, collaborators and stuff once we blow, because we've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. But we do want to seriously thank you for just taking the time out of your afternoon, hanging out with us, saluting Kenny Green, remembering his legacy, and you and Jeff, definitely a big thank you to you both for continuing this legacy of great music.
Man, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be here on your platform. Because without these platforms, we'd be doing songs and just listen to them in our cars, going back and forth from where we going. So without you guys, it would be no Intro, be no Buddy Wike, be no Jeff Sanders, no rest in peace Kenny Green. So Marv, you already know, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you anytime. And I'm definitely looking forward to you and Jason and Jeff coming back when that documentary drops. Definitely.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right,
yes,
man.
Sir.
This is Mr. Buddy Wike from the legendary Gold and Platinum Selling Writing, Performing and Production Team Intro. We thank him. We salute him and his
Sun
entourage. Have a good evening, man. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and thank you.
Sun is setting.